Hey folks, if you're enjoying this live stream, be like the Fonz and give it a thumbs up. Hey.
Jordache has the fit that's right. The Jordache look. The Jordache look.
There really is a Kentucky Fried Chicken school.
Yep, today we're making the Colonel's original recipe.
What have you learned?
Fresh chicken makes the best chicken.
And that we use 11 herbs and spices.
Oh, but that's the Colonel's secret. And special pressure cooking.
So it's always tender and juicy.
Looks like you've learned to make great chicken.
Only way to serve our customers right.
It's so nice to live. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Honey, you're going to be just beautiful tomorrow.
A Coke and a smile.
Okay, everybody, let's get this rehearsal going.
Makes me feel good. That's the way it should be. And I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Have a Coke and a smile.
Has Wayne Newton split with his wife and hit the jackpot with his new romance? Inquiring minds want to know.
I want to know.
Can you lose weight by switching from celery to sweets? This week's National Enquirer tells you. How can you put office troublemakers in their place? What curse of death and disaster haunts the Super Bowl?
It's in the Enquirer.
What bizarre surprises popped up on Caroline's wacky honeymoon? Find out in the Enquirer. Over 100 features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
One Day at a Time has moved. The craziest cast of characters in some of their zaniest adventures ever. Now come to you in the morning at a brand new time. Anything goes, and it usually does. So be sure to watch us, because it all happens one day at a time. Now at 10 Eastern, 9 Central and Pacific.
This is CBS.
Ever wonder what happens when you click on that little join button and become a super fan of the channel? Well, the thing that you might notice right away is that I do my best to prioritize your comments and respond to them first. It's the very least that I can do. And if you stick around for a while, you'll probably also discover the channel member updates. These are exclusive videos that I do 2 to 3 times a month. And we have exclusive live streams from time to time. Not every month, but at least a couple of times each quarter. But more than anything else, you have my total appreciation. I know it's only a couple of bucks, but it takes effort to click on that join button and express your support in that unique way.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening to one and all. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoyed talking about music, movies, mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, decades gone by, well, you've come to the right place. So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. On the thumbnail, I've got a picture of Anne Gilligan and Adam West as Batman, and we'll definitely get to both of those individuals throughout the evening. But I'm going to show an awful lot of videos, and that's why I'm calling this live stream a retro TV watch party. But I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be in the chat. I'll be highlighting comments. I'll be popping in from time to time. If there's any super chats, I want to acknowledge those on air. I also have a couple of videos that are newer that I want to show you guys. I noticed that Danny Staten mentioned in the chat that I was going to show an unboxing video, and I am. I'm going to share a new video about some of my favorite podcasts that you can listen or watch right here on YouTube. But first, I want to greet everybody that's here. So let me just take a quick peek, and we'll see what we got here. I noticed Thrash Pondo Pons is here. Jerry Gillespie's here. Shannon Burns. Tom, a.k.a. The Hungry Jerk. Still only 35 cents. Superfan Pat McCormack, also known as Golden Rage of TV. He's here. Superfan Tracy Roth Myers. Mike Silva. Superfan Emily Miller. Lance Chafin's here. Ken Flagler's here. Helene Solomon's here. Superfan Danny Staten's here. Superfan Superplex is here. Superfan, did I say Tracy Roth Myers? Well, I'm saying it again. Superfan Kevin Davis. Mike Silva. Bunny Carlos. Karen Lee Maloney is here. Jay Trace, Al Duarte, Ravenscroft 82, still only 35 cents. I might have mentioned you, but I'll mention you again. Gary Carpenter. Lots of folks. We got 74 people watching right now. So I'm probably going to miss one or two people, and for that, I apologize. Sarita Abney's here. Susan Boatman's here. Rom 58, Karen Lester. DOA version 2.1 is here. Let me see if I can see any. The Josh Sings is here, but he's leaving. He says, bye, everyone. Great stream. Take care, Josh. Let's see. Chris Budarakos is here. Ravenscroft 82. I might have mentioned. Superfan Dominic D. Jan Koza. Why, you know, I just hate to miss anybody. Constance Cherry is with us this evening. Sean Innes is here. Oh, I think I might have got most everybody. If I didn't, post something right now in the chat and I'll say hello. I'm watching the chat with bated breath. Okay, let's see if anyone else is here. I think I got most of you, at least the folks that are in the chat. Monica Joy is here. Hello. Good to have you with us, Monica. Thank you for joining in tonight. We're just going to be hanging out, watching some old-time retro commercials. There'll be some interviews. There'll be some clips from certain things. There'll be a few of my videos, that kind of stuff. We're going to do that for the next hour. I'm also going to give away a copy of Retro Fan Magazine, the July issue. We'll talk more about that in a bit, and we'll do some trivia at the very end. Superfan Butch Shumpf is here. Awesome. Moabs is here. Let's see. DZ Tennant is here. Larry Moore is here. Lee Corbell is here. Let's see. Jack Fleming fan is here. Raja 1938. Kim Ellis is here. I think that might be it, and that's cool. 78 people watching right now. Like I said, we're going to have a good time tonight. It is going to be something, a bit of a watch party. Kansas Swamp Person, welcome. Keith E., welcome. Mary Espinosa, welcome. Superband Kevin Davis, welcome. bit of a watch party, but I'll be here. I'll be hanging out with you guys. If I'm not on screen, I'll be in the chat. Ed Myers here. I didn't miss you, but I'm glad you said it's not a big deal if I did, because holy cow, there's a lot of people in the chat saying hello. And that's great. I love this level of engagement. We're up to 85 people in the chat right now. Super cool. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me tonight for this retro TV watch party. So with that said, let's go ahead and get going. And we'll start with the first string of videos, and then I'll pop back in just a few minutes and we'll talk some more.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster Video gives you over 10,000 videos to choose from in over 30 different categories. And with our new Blockbuster Movie Previews video, you can sample the excitement of up to 50 Blockbuster videos at a time, absolutely free. While viewing at home, just use the rental reminder card we've included with the Previews cassette to list the movies you want to rent and their categories. Keep it in your wallet next to your Blockbuster membership card. Then the next time you're at Blockbuster Video, the movies you've listed will be easy to remember and find. Just check the movies off as you rent them. It's Blockbuster Video's way of making it simple and convenient for you to be selective in choosing movies for your entire family. Now let Blockbuster Video sneak you into the movies.
This fall, the ABC Program King is serving up the laughs. With It's a Living, the hottest new gang of girls ever to hit television.
Oh, my goodness. Debbie Boone.
I'll drop those 5 little beauties right in after Barney Miller on Thursday.
I dated a pilot once. You dated everything once. Have you dated anyone twice? Yeah, once.
Independent women trying to make it on their own. All that real-life emotion.
That's deep.
Bingo. Boffo.
I've got new Cocoa Pebbles. Looks more chocolatey, tastes better than ever. But we can't let Video Wilma see the chocolatey color of it.
Hi, fellas.
Close your eyes. Don't look or you'll turn into a chocolatey monster. Oh, boy.
Looks more chocolatey.
Have some girls' new post-Cocoa Pebbles cereals part of a balanced breakfast.
Tastes better than ever. What a delicious feeling. New Cocoa Pebbles.
Sure, tastes better than ever. Looks more chocolatey. Looks chocolatey.
Mary Ann was played by
Dawn Wells.
Dawn Wells. Yeah. Do you keep in touch with the old
Oh,
Mary
sure,
Ann?
we see each other. We get rescued anywhere there's a body of water in the United States.
Yeah. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Dawn Wells. Dawn? She's still trying to win your heart.
Coconut cream pie, my favorite.
I want to make you feel at home, Bob.
Thank you so much, Dawn. Boy, is this tempting.
You're tempting us. No, you really want to throw it, don't you? You really want to throw it, don't
These are really heavy. You throw these, boy, they're dangerous.
you? Well, we'll put it down.
How many did you get in the face?
Oh, lots.
Now, I asked about romance or implied romance.
Right.
Was there any? There was none of that between
No.
the two of you.
I think we had an episode where they tried to romance us or marry us or get us engaged or something, but censors wouldn't allow that either. You know, we were all on this island sort of unchaperoned.
But you wore a little cutaway.
Hip huggers, shorts, but I had to have a little point to cover my navel. In that day and age, you couldn't show your navel or you couldn't show any cleavage. One of my favorite stories is Sherwood Schwartz coming home at night saying to his wife he'd had a terrible day between the censors at CBS trying to prop up my pants and prop up Tina's neckline. Between the cleavage and the navels, they could hardly go on the air.
Did you get mail from? Because I know some young men. In fact, I might be one of them who
fantasized a bit.
Who found the whole idea rather attractive.
I have a wonderful story, Pat. I was doing a cable show on television. We were out on a location on a ship. And a very young man, about 23, was one of the boom operators who was too shy to talk to me. And people kept saying, Dawn, he's had a crush on you forever. And he wouldn't talk to me until the very last day. And his name was Bam Bam, and he was about 6'3", about 230 pounds. And he picked me up and put me on his lap and put his arms around me and said, I just want you to know you got me through puberty in the nicest of ways. Oh.
That doesn't happen to me.
That's kind of sweet,
heaven.
I guess. And are you going to do any more reunion shows? Is it in the
We have
cards?
another 2-hour script for, TV movie that Sherwood's written, and it's Gilligan, the Second Generation. I marry Mary Ann, and this professor marries Ginger, and we all have little children till they're 7, like we were before. And they grow up, and they want to go back to see where Gilligan's Island was. And they get a boat, and they go out, and there's a big storm.
All right, Sherwood, you've pressed the limits of credibility too far this time.
And they land on the island, and they do, all the things we did on the island. And we're back on the mainland, the original cast, trying to find out where they are.
Well, that seems like a good idea. So you two would end up hitched.
Husband and wife? And do we have a daughter or son?
Boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
The girl looks like you, and the boy looks like, I hope you.
The theme song. As I recall, some characters were added to the theme song without changing the song. As I remember early on, the professor and Mary Ann were not included in it, and then they kind of sneaked him in. The professor and Mary Ann?
We were the rest.
Originally you were and the rest?
And the rest.
How did you get tired of being the
There was a billing problem
rest?
at the beginning. I think when we originally went on the air, I think the billing was arranged. There were 3 replacements. Ginger, the professor, and Mary Ann came in after the pilot. We weren't in the original show. And we did a lot of negotiations, and I guess Tina's contract came out first. So she was negotiated to be the last of the 5 being billed. So we were the rest for about a year.
So you could follow negotiation just by following the tune.
That's right. So guess who won out the last 2 years?
I said to them, it's not really fair. 7 people on the island. You shouldn't have the rest 2 people stuck. Put them in front. And they said, no, contractually, they're stuck back there. And I said, well, contractually, I get first billing, so I have choice where I want to go. And they went, yeah. I said, I'll take last billing then. Ooh. They went, all right, we'll move them up.
Good for you, Bob.
I didn't know that was you.
That's very nice. That's an unusual story in Hollywood. Anyway, it's great seeing you both. It's a fun show to watch and a fun show to talk about it. And no matter what they may have written about it, it has outlasted most of those people who've done the writing. So that's true. Our thanks to Bob Denver and Dawn Wells. Thank you, folks. I hope you can stick around for a bit because blood, sweat, and tears, all of them, coming right out. Stay with us.
Sleep the night away on a perfect sleeper by Serta. Be a perfect sleeper by a perfect sleeper by Serta.
The perfect sleeper. Firmness, it feels good. It's a better way to sleep.
Be a perfect sleeper by a perfect sleeper by Serta.
Firmness, it feels good.
I see automation displaces labor in your organization too, Dr. Sloan.
Ah, Captain Q. Join me in a glass of delicious chocolate quick, won't you?
Thank you, Doctor. I could use some energy. Incidentally, one of those torpedoes you fired at me was circling, and you're sunk.
Toodaloo, Captain Q.
Some people will do anything to get rich quick. Toodaloo.
Dunk the objective, you get 3 points. If you hit the target, but the person in the dunk tank doesn't go under, then you only get 1 point. And Ann Gillian has been selected as the object of Aaron Mitchell. Good hit, and down goes Ann Gillian immediately. That's a surprise, Kathy Lee. Why not? She going? She's got to get back on the seat.
She thinks she's through.
That's ridiculous.
You are lucky.
You got lucky. I love that. And I love Battle of the Network Stars. It was so much fun to do that live stream last week where we talked about Battle of the Network Stars, and I'm grateful for everybody that joined in last week. It was tons of fun. And Erin Gray, she's got quite the arm there. She didn't take long to dunk Ann Gillian at all. So I'm going to go back and look at some of these starred comments real quick. Superfan Jill Carter says, I'm going to be a bit late. I recognize, I think you work on Thursday nights, and I apologize for that, Jill, but it would be great to have you when you can join us. And of course, you can catch the live stream on replay later. Daryl, as always, you're a good man. Thanks for reminding folks to hit that like button. Superfan Superplex reminds folks that Kevin Givens posted a new video. I shared it in the community section, at least the latest one I've noticed, which was on the MASH TV series versus the MASH movie. I thought it was really good, and so yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go to my community section and check her out. Kevin's a great guy. He's shown up on this live stream a couple of times. Superfan Superplex says Kevin also does reviews of popular culture, and he has his own comic book title too. Yeah, he does. Great guy. Jerry Gillespie says 2 favorite Batman villains were the Clock King and Black Widow, played by Tallulah Bankhead. Yeah, sure. Bankhead. Was it Bankhead or Blankhead? Bankhead, I'm sure it is. Okay. And yeah, she was great. Superfan Butch Schump says his old guard Star Wars from VHS, it's on digital now. Yeah, you hang on to that because there's some differences. We all know Han shot first. And Superplex points out that the Star Wars Christmas special should be regarded as a classic. I think so. I think it's cheesy and corny and silly and still a classic. Tom says, I met Adam West, Yvonne Craig, and Lee Merriweather over the years. Need Burt Ward's autograph. Yes, you do, good sir. Superfan Superplex says Ian C. hated the Ewoks. His opinion is that they were entering the cute zone with that idea. They absolutely were entering the cute zone. George Lucas was interested in selling as many toys as possible. I still like the Ewoks, but I believe the story as originally written was Wookiees, not Ewoks, and then they changed it around so they could sell little Ewok dolls. Keith E., welcome. Good to have you with us. He says, oh, it's been a while. It's good to see everyone. I'm just going to sit here quietly in the corner like I always do. Well, great to have you here, Keith. Keith also says, with being pretty much blind, this pre-chat is difficult for me, but I'm doing my best to keep up. Yeah, the pre-chat, I imagine that would be a little bit difficult. I apologize for that. One more from Keithy. He says, not really responding to someone. He says, my motto is to be outstanding without standing out. Interesting. Great motto. Sean Innes says, laugh out loud. This is when we were watching the Lunchbox slideshow. About a month ago, I bought a retro-style lunchbox on Amazon. Its theme was John Carpenter's They Live. I might need to get that one. Let's see. Danny Staten says, Dave's supposed to show a video tonight of the latest package I sent him. Oh, yes, we will be sharing that in just a little bit. No, those lunchboxes weren't part of my collection. Josh says that his grandmother's in an assisted living facility, so this might be his last live stream for a while. Well, I hope everything goes well with your grandmother. Planet of the Ape lunchbox is what Dave Thomas had. And let's see, Sean Innes had a Lancelot Link Super Chimp lunchbox and also one with the banana splits. Hey, Ken Flagler, good to have you with us. Jay Trace had a Kung Fu lunchbox, and Superfan Tracy Rothmeyers had a Partridge Family lunchbox. Superfan Emily Miller, great to have you here. Did I say hello to you? I hope I did. Superfan Butch Schump says, I remember the full 1 minute, 90-second versions of the Coke ads in the drive-in. Oh, those old ads in the drive-ins were great. Jerry Gillespie suggests, says, do a promotion on CBS 1973. They showed All in the Family, Carol Burnett, and Sonny and Cher. I'll have to add that to my list. I don't think I have anything like that queued up for tonight. Helene Solomon says, I'm meeting Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner in 2 weeks. That is awesome. Paul Curioso, welcome. Chris Burracco says, have you ever done any videos on Kurt Russell? I don't think I have yet. Danny says, I love this stuff. Be sure to share this stream out in your community post. Well, I'll share it in my community post. Anyone else that feels like sharing the stream, I would be forever grateful. Susan Boatman asks, are there any Blockbusters left with people? Yes, there's one in Oregon. Rom58 has become a super fan of the channel. Welcome, Rom. I appreciate that so much. Truly appreciated, Rom58. Thank you for your support. Let's see what else we got here. Crow Muse says, Fred sharing his pebbles with Barney instead of Barney trying to get them by trickery. Yeah, those were the original commercials. It wasn't long before they started having Barney try to steal Fred's pebbles. Ravenscroft82 says, Dave, not sure if you're watching the chat. Well, as you can see, I'm so far behind. This comment was about 10 minutes ago. So I'm going to miss a lot in the chat tonight just because there's so many people talking, and that's a great thing. But I did catch this one, and I have Barney Miller on my list of things to do. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, welcome, Terrell. Always good to have you with us. And yes, I think all of our hearts go out to Ian and his family. His wife did pass away from cancer last week. And let's see. Tom says that his dad was a buddy of Alan Hell Jr.'s, so the skipper, and they'd go out drinking every now and again. Oh, your close friend was Glenn Ford. That's very, very cool. I loved him in the original Superman movie. Chris Budarakos met Don Wells. That's awesome. And yes, Pat, Bob did play hardball when it came to the way those credits, the fact that Don Wells and Russell Johnson's characters were simply referred to as "and the rest" during that first season, that was no bueno for Bob. And I really love that he went to bat for his co-stars, and he was close friends with both of those people for the remainder of their lives and his life. That interview is interesting. That Pat Sajak interview is interesting. And don't be surprised if you see me glean that interview and turn it into at least one Gilligan's Island video, if not a couple. Let's see. Terrell says, looking forward to a video by Gene Wilder and Gilda Radner. I'm not working on one right now, but I've got it on my list. Thank you for the suggestion. All right. Let me get out of the comments for a minute here. I'll look at the comments again as we play the next video. So what do we have queued up? We're going to do two things. We're going to watch a video about some of my favorite TV and movie ghosts. And then we're going to watch that unboxing video that Danny sent me, Danny Staten. He of the South Carolina Statons sent me a box full of goodies the other day to go into the Hall of Nostalgia back there. And as such, we'll be playing that video as well. And then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. We'll read some more comments, all that kind of fun stuff. So here we go. Let me just state for the record that I do believe in ghosts. I've never seen one, mind you. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe that we all have spirits, and when we die, some of those spirits, for whatever reason, well, they like to stick around. From an early age, I've also enjoyed movies with that general theme. I am a big Cary Grant fan, so it only makes sense that Topper would be a favorite of mine. Grant and co-star Constance Bennett played George and Marion Kirby, a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky couple who find themselves deceased after an unfortunate automobile accident. They discover that they aren't destined for heaven or hell, but forced to roam the earth as spirits until they do some sort of good deed. Unfortunately, or fortunately, their former friend, a stuffy feller by the name of Topper, is the recipient of their intended good deeds, and of course, mayhem and mirth are not all that far behind. Even more than Topper, I absolutely love Gene Tierney and Rex Harrison in The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. It's a story that holds up even today. The performances of Miss Tierney as a young widow named Lucy and Mr. Harrison as the very crotchety and very dead sea captain that she falls in love with are top-notch and timeless. This is a movie that I return to year after year. It's just that good. So anyway, you get my point. I like stories about ghosts. Mostly friendly ghosts. I never cared much for the angry ones. With this in mind, you can probably understand why I was excited about Jennifer Slept Here. The show starred Anne Gilligan as a famous but very dead movie star. She was the victim of a freak accident with a good humor ice cream truck and was refusing to leave her Beverly Hills mansion behind. And then 14-year-old Joey and his family show up, and Jennifer realizes that she can do good deeds by helping out Joey and not ever have to leave her beloved home behind. I've got to admit, after perusing the fall preview edition of TV Guide, this was one of the shows that I was most excited about for the 1983 TV season. I will also admit that I was more than a little intrigued by the TV Guide promo ad for this show's premiere episode. Holy cow! This show looks more like some sort of teen coming-of-age comedy than anything else. Of course, this was the network doing what they do best, teasing the potential viewers with an outrageous advertisement that really doesn't have all that much to do with the actual program. And as you might guess, the thing I'm leading up to is the best thing about Jennifer Slept Here was Gilligan. Unfortunately, the sitcom itself seemed to be still kind of working through what it wanted to be. A lot of shows are like that during their first and sometimes even sophomore seasons. Unfortunately, despite some really good episodes, including one with the diminutive star from Poltergeist Zelda Rubinstein, the network execs swung their mighty cancellation axe, and after just one short season, 13 episodes in all I believe, Jennifer Slept Here was no more. At the time, I remember being extremely disappointed. How was I going to get my ghost fix? But then, through the magic of reruns, I was able to discover the television version of The Ghost and Mrs. Muir starring Hope Lang. The show ran for 2 seasons, first on NBC and then on ABC, and co-starred Edward Mulhare as Captain Daniel Gregg. The TV show was a little less romantic and played mostly for laughs. But it's good in its own right, and yes, that is Charles Nelson Riley there on the left. Anyway, great memories, at least for me. Alright, now it's your turn. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love a thumbs up, and what the heck, why not head on over to my YouTube channel and check out more videos over there. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I have got another giant box from superfan, channel member, Danny Stanton. And let's take a peek and see what's inside this behemoth. We cut this guy open. Danny did a pretty good job of sealing it up. Right. Let's see if that's going to do it. Maybe not.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Okay, let's see what we have in here. I'm just going to reach in and pull things out. Oh my goodness. We've got Batman 66 action figure. A Riddler bendable figure from the 66 television series. Oh my goodness, what is this? This is a Jed Clampett Beverly Hillbillies. That is awesome. See, there's some loose, oh my goodness. Here, look at this. We've got Robin, the Boy Wonder. Yep, love it. Love it. I don't know what this came from. I've seen a lot of action figures in my time, and I've never seen this. It's not a Mego action figure, and but it's cool. It's got, look at this. You can take off the little booties for Robin. That's cool. Totally poseable. That's awesome. Okay, what else we got in here, Danny? Oh, something broke. Something broke. Oh no, this is Jed Clampett's hat. Oh, this is cool. Gonna have to replace the frame. Got a little beat up, but that's a great picture of the Duke and Jimmy Stewart. And this frame didn't make it too well either. It's coming apart. There we go. Three Stooges. That is awesome. Awesomely cool. Danny, once again, you have completely outdone yourself. Your generosity knows no limits. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. The Hall of Nostalgia appreciates your support, and I appreciate your support and friendship. Thank you. Yeah, that was just way too generous, and thank you so much, Danny. Truly do appreciate it. As super fan Dominic D says, nice, very nice, and yeah, it just I you can see, you could actually see right there. There's Robin hanging out behind me. Always appreciated. It's so much fun for me, and this is selfishly, but I just sometimes I come in here and I just, when I'm trying to come up with inspiration for a video, whatever, I'll flip around and I'll just stare at the stuff behind me, and it does the trick. It provides me with the inspiration that I need. So thank you so much. Indeed, they are awesome gifts. All right, let's get to, I see a super chat from John Collins. I want to get to that, and then we'll get to some more comments, and then we got some more videos. Yeah, we're moving slowly tonight, so apologize for that, folks. John Collins says, I'm wondering if you would consider doing a presentation about the importance of Arthur Ashe and Billie Jean King on culture and sports in the 70s. I will add that to my potential topics list, John. Those are ones, you get those requests that require research, because while I am familiar with both athletes, to do that kind of presentation justice will require a little bit of time and study, but I'll definitely add that to my list and throw a star next to it so that it doesn't get lost in the hundreds of requests that I have. But truly appreciated. Thanks so much, John. Let's do this. Yeah, thank you for your support, sir. Truly appreciated. Let me go to some more comments that I've started a few more since we last went to the comments section, and let's see what we have here. Oh, Tracy Roth-Myers has a birthday coming up. Super fan Tracy Roth-Myers, just a few days away. I know the number of years, but I'm never going to tell. So I hope you have a great birthday. And thank you for being such a valued member of this community. The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, one of my all-time favorite movies. Gary Carpenter says, do cop shows. I need to do a cop shows themed live stream. And superfan Emily Miller says, ghosts are cool. And superfan Pat McCormack says, I've actually seen a ghost. Anyone else? Jay Trace says, my wife loved Patrick Swayze, who played a ghost once upon a time. He sure did. I love that movie. Apparently, his wife is up in heaven searching for Patrick Swayze as we speak. Jerry Gillespie says, one other thing, Dave. I know you said you'd do something on Laugh-In, but maybe something on the two stars Dan Rowan and Dick Martin. They were great together. So I actually knew the nephew of Dan Rowan. Many of you know that I served an LDS Mormon mission, and his nephew was on a mission to Spain at the same time, and so I met him there, and Laugh-In was one of those forbidden shows for me when I was a kid. It was on a little bit later. Mom and Dad tried to put me to bed, and they would be watching Laugh-In, and one time I went to bed trying to behave, be a good little guy. And then I needed to go to the bathroom and get a drink of water. And I went downstairs, and my sister, who was 10 months younger than me, was down there watching Laugh-In with Mom and Dad. Oh, that got my goat. But great suggestion, Jerry. And I will definitely throw a star next to that one as well. Let's see. I think that's it in terms of the comments that I starred. Laugh-In was great. It was a lot of fun. It was very representative of the era, right? That's what made it so special. All right, I promised watch party, and we haven't watched a ton of retro TV. We did that first little clip a while back with the commercials and Bob Denver and Don Wells. It's time to do a little bit more. So let's go ahead and settle on in and watch what I like to call Retro TV Fun Montage number 2. And then, you know what? I think after that, let's give away the Retro Fan magazine. So first the montage, and then the giveaway. I'll be back in a bit. That's not the right one. That's montage number 1. Let's try montage number 2.
Hey, Spidey, isn't Marvel's new Pizzazz magazine fantastic? Fantastic, but not perfect. But Pizzazz has the lowdown on Jaws, too, and more Sean Cassidy picks than his mother. It's sensational. Sensational, but not perfect. How about Pizzazz's Goofy Guide to TV? It's wild look at sci-fi movies. It's games, puzzles, comics. What could be more perfect? Me on the cover. Not the Hulk. Pizzazz, the almost perfect new monthly from the off-the-wall gang at Marvel Comics.
It's time to celebrate, so let's not hesitate. Put a little love in your heart.
Let's think of the children and lend them a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love, put a little love.
Want the world to know they need your help, and so put a little love in your heart.
We hope when you decide kindness will be your guide.
Put a little love in your heart,
And the world will be a better place.
and the world
Will be a better place for you and me,
just wait.
and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love, Come on, everybody, we're really going to make the world a better place.
That's right.
Come on, get
In fact, this year, for the first time, we're going to be seen in the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China.
That's right. Hey, this really is a small world. Wouldn't you say that? Come on. We're going to celebrate.
No time to hesitate.
Put a little love in your heart.
Just think of the children and
Let them have it.
love in your heart.
And the world
Will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait, see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Put a little love.
I loved Wild Wild West. CBS ran the show from 65 to 69, but I really grew to love the show during syndication. For those of you who haven't seen this show, let's just say it was the role that Robert Conrad was destined to play. And in the mid-70s, Conrad again found success with Baa Black Sheep, which ran on NBC from 1976 to 1978. In the show, Conrad played legendary tough guy World War II fighter ace Pappy Boyington. According to Wikipedia, Wikipedia, the show's success led Conrad to win a People's Choice Award for Favorite Male Actor and a Golden Globe nomination for his performance. And around the same time, Conrad was a staple on Battle of the Network Stars, where he served as the captain of the NBC team on 6 different occasions. Just looking at that team, I don't know if they won or lost that year, but holy cow, they seemed poised for victory. You got Buck Rogers, Wilma Deering, Half Pint, and her ma, along with BJ. How could they not win? All right, folks, it's time. We're giving away a copy, a brand new copy. It's not even out yet. They haven't even started shipping this one. Let me see if I can find the cover real quick. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Julie Newmar, Astro Boy, the Monkey Mobile, Tarzan on Saturday mornings. We're talking Filmation Tarzan there. And then you guys have already seen my, well, many of you, I assume, have seen my video on the Star Trek Flintstones crossover that occurred during a Pebbles cereal commercial. I got that from this magazine. Yes, I was able to get a preview of the magazine, but it hasn't been shipped out to anyone yet. So, Lance Chaffin, I know you're in the chat out there. Your copy hasn't been shipped yet and probably won't be for another couple of weeks. But we're giving away another copy tonight. Let's see. Let's go full screen on this if I can. Is this going to do that? There we go. We got 27 entries in so far. That's awesome. 29 entries. What do you think? Should we got 110 people in the chat. When it hits 40, I'm going to push the button. So get your, all you have to do is in the chat, type in #retro. That's all you got to do. So easy. #retro will get you in the running for a copy of the July 2022 issue of Retro Fan Magazine. I believe it has a cover price of $10.95. I am not sponsored by Retro Fan Magazine, but boy, oh boy, do I love this publication. It's really good. I mean, it's just the stuff that I talk about on my videos, except in printed form. And let's be truthful, a lot better. These guys they're professionals. And they are every bit the pop culture historian that I am. And in many cases, they have so much experience within the industry that I yield to them. They are great. So highly recommended. I'll post a link to subscribe to Retro Fan Magazine in the description section of the video, the live stream, after we're done here. It's not going to be there right now. But let's go ahead and give this away. Let me go ahead. Let's do this layout again. I want to be on screen for this. And then let me go over to the giveaway tool and hit the draw button. And let's see who our winner is tonight. DZ Tennant. Congratulations. That's awesome. So happy for you. Congratulations. Here's what I need you to do, DZ Tennant. Let me go ahead and pull up an email address for you to write down. Here it is. Just go ahead and send me your information, your name, your physical address. It can be a P.O. box. I don't think that's a problem. And it does need to be in the U.S. So if for any reason you're outside of the United States, I'll work with you on that. I won't be able to send you that exact copy of Retro Fan Magazine, but we will send you something that, in replacement or in substitute for that. So I hope you're in the U.S. because I think this is a phenomenal issue. I really think you'll enjoy it. But congratulations once again. There's my email address. If for any reason you haven't been able to write it down, you can always scroll back and rewind the live stream and catch it that way. You can also replay the live stream later on. But congratulations to you. That is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and take that off there. I'm going to bring me back on full screen. I'm going to take a look at some of the comments. I just love the sportsmanship here. Superfan Lisa Fields, congratulations, DZ. Karen Lee Maloney, congratulations. Lance Chaffin, congratulations. Superfan, I love this one. Look at the emoji work here. This is awesome. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyer. It's just great sportsmanship. Thanks to everybody for being such great sports about that. And we will continue to give away copies of Retrofan, annual subscriptions to Remind Magazine, and every now and again DVD sets, that type of thing. That's where I take some of the money that comes from super chats and from the channel membership, and particularly with the DVDs and the shipping the stuff out. That's part of the way I kind of give back to you guys. But thank you so much. So here's what we got. Let's get to some comments here. There were some more comments I wanted to cover. Oh yes, this one here. Jason Goldtrap says, I went on a Bigfoot hunt last October in Polk County, Florida. Surprisingly, we didn't find Bigfoot. I'm shocked as well. I would have thought you had, but maybe next time you see if you can't get Danny Staten to go out with you. He tends to see some pretty crazy things when he's out there on the hunt. He's got a sharp eye for that stuff. Jerry Gillespie says, by the way, Dave, I was around 14 in 69, so I could watch Laugh-In. Unfortunately, my mother watched the show up against it. Here's Lucy. I might have picked Here's Lucy. I love that show. Gary Carpenter says, do a show on the character Lois Lane. I have done a video on that, but I do need to maybe do another one, or at least freshen that one up a little bit. Superfan Superplex asks, was Maria Osmond pregnant? Yes, she was. And that was John Schneider, also known as Bo Duke, that was singing along with her. He was so good at supporting the Children's Miracle Network. He was very close friends with Marie Osmond, and that was kind of her baby, the telethon, and raising money for it. But he would be on there year after year with her and helping her to kind of, just MC that telethon and be there with her. He's a great guy. I love John Schneider. Really wonderful feller. Okay, so John W. says, as a kid in the 70s, I remember being homesick and watching Leave It to Beaver and Dennis the Menace on a local channel about 12 p.m. When they slotted it for that time, why they slotted it for that time, I'll never know. And why would they do that? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I do know that I would often play hooky from school, pretend to be sick, and stay home and watch all sorts of great shows like Leave It to Beaver, The Andy Griffith Show, Love American Style, those kind of shows that were in reruns in the early 70s. It just loved it. It was all the more incentive. I didn't have to turn in homework. I could stay at home. Mom would make me some food, serve it to me in bed. I'd go down on the couch and watch TV. Delightful. Delightful. It's a miracle I went to school as much as I did. All right. Back to the watch party. What do we got next here? We are going to, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share a handful of my favorite podcasts that you can watch right here on YouTube. If you watch my videos, you're going to already know some of these. And then I'm going to go right into the next montage. Okay, the next retro TV fun montage. So without any further ado or delay, as they say here in the States, let's get going. Here are a few of my favorite podcasts that you can watch right here on YouTube. Ike Eisenman from Disney's Escape to Witch Mountain series and author Jonathan Rosen take an affectionate look back at pop culture from yesteryear. They share memories, have great discussions, and conduct interviews with people who were involved in some of the most beloved classics from the past. They even asked me to join them a couple of weeks ago, and I had a great time visiting with these fellers. Look for that episode to debut in a couple of weeks. What's a glitter boom girl? Well, I'm not sure, but I sure do love their podcast. Authors Amy Asbury and Robbie M. McPherson take an affectionate, loving deep dive into 70s and 80s nostalgia, revisiting everything from childhood toys, teen idols, TV shows, and even TV dinners. Yep, all the stuff that made the 70s and 80s so darn special. Over the past handful of years, the BATCAVE podcast has taken a look at each and every episode of the 60s Batman TV series. Host John S. Drew celebrates the great and looks to see where the show went wrong as it slid into oblivion during its third and final season. These days, John is also reviewing episodes of the animated series as well as shows like Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. And every week I like to jump on the BK Escape Pod. That's a podcast version of BK on the Air, which airs live every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. But you know what? BK stands for Barry King, and this guy knows his stuff. And the podcast, if you listen to it on YouTube, he intersperses it with all sorts of fun retro nostalgia audio clips. And if you've been watching any of the videos on my channel lately, you know that I've been listening to the Real Brady Bros podcast. The Real Brady Bros are Barry Williams and Christopher Knight, and they have a great time visiting and recapping iconic Brady Bunch episodes every week. Good stuff. Folks, I'll drop the link to all of these podcasts in the description section of this live stream. I would definitely recommend checking out some or all of these podcasts. They are so good, each and every one of them. And if you find yourself enjoying one of them, well, click on that subscribe button. That's how you'll know when a new episode is published to YouTube. Alright, now back to more retro TV programming.
You've got a great pair of legs.
Need a little magic to make your tummy disappear? Try my magic. Legs Control Top Pantyhose with feel-free control. Legs Control Top holds you in all the right places, but you feel free as a breeze.
Stretching, bending, standing. There's one pantyhose that's always fitting. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
We're seeing eye to eye with you today in every way. The way we live, the way we love, the way we laugh and play.
We've got the touch, America. Coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS.
You're tuned to us, we're tuned to you. It starts to touch you through and through. Touch of laughter, a touch of tears. With friends you've loved for years.
We've got the touch, America. We're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. We've got the touch, America. And we're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. Great new shows are coming to touch you through and through. We've got it together, CBS and you. Laughing and romancing, drama that's the best. You'll stay on top with CBS. We've got the touch, America, and we're reaching for the sky. We've got the touch, America. We're seeing eye to eye. We've got the touch, America. We're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. UNCBS.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my life, there have been a lot of people who have changed it for the good and some for the, well, some for the bad. But I've been very lucky because my roots were from wonderful people. But there was one lady who always taught me the meaning of class, and a little bit of it rubbed off. I would like her. She doesn't know that I'm going to ask her to do this, obviously, because I'm here now acting like a fool and talking like Jimmy Stewart In fact, I make Jimmy Stewart sound like Broderick Crawford. I'm talking too slow. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and I think my best friend. And I would like her to sing something. And I know she hasn't got anything prepared, but I know Bernie Casey can lift the piano. So, Dinah, would you do something for me?
Close the lid for you. I would do anything in God's world for you. But when I get to a party, I know 14,328 songs. And I can't think of...
You can't think of one?
I will.
Okay. You want a piano player?
Well,
that would help, wouldn't it?
At Billy Wilder's parties and Audrey's, yeah, please. If anything in the...
I'm available.
I know.
Hey, hell of a night.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's a wonderful...
But you're cuter.
No.
While they're waiting, I'd like to do about 40 minutes.
He will, too. Quick, Jack, sit down.
You know, in the key of C.
Key of C?
That's it.
And Nelson, it's in my key.
Nelson, come in after 8 bars with...
Okay. Are you ready for this, my dear?
I don't know. No. You gotta give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Come in here, Nelson, it's comfortable. Nice little brush. You gotta laugh a little, cry a little, and let the clouds roll by a little. That's the story. That's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of you. Instead of 14, you got the world and all of its charms. When the world is through with you, you've got each other's arms. Sometimes you win. Get the blues, the blues. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Sweet love.
Charlie's Angels will return in a moment.
We're digging in. We're digging in. America's digging into planters.
Americans who love digging into snacks dig into Planters, like Planters mixed nuts. Lots of everybody's favorite fresh roasted nuts.
Working hard and having fun. Planters nuts are America's #1. We're digging in. We're digging in. America's digging into planters.
an inexorable force in the cosmos, where time and space converge, where the here and now may be forever. An unavoidable whole, moving through space, swallowing everything in its path. Now, man is about to enter the black hole. A journey that begins where everything ends. Rated PG.
Tomorrow on 2020, Michael Jackson, a star at 10 and a superstar at 19. How does he keep his head straight in an unreal world? Plus, an update on Elvis's death. Is there a cover-up? And millions of fans await the arrival of the Enterprise. Tomorrow on 2020.
Oh, wow. Takes you back, doesn't it? It really does. Oh, that black hole trailer. I remember watching that as a kid, just being so darn excited for that movie. John H. points out it was Disney's first PG-rated movie. I think you are absolutely correct. And Gary Carpenter says, I love Dinah Shore. As did I. I loved her talk show. And I thought someone else mentioned it. Let me see if I can find it in the starred comments. Maybe I started. Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't. But she was 20 years older than him. And because of that, he wanted to marry her. But she didn't feel like that was fair to him. But they were truly in love. Superfan John Collins says, Dave, can you ask the chat whether they prefer your still photo or whether your short introduction? I think what you're asking is that on many of my videos, I'll do a still photo at the beginning introducing myself or a video of myself introducing, myself. And here's what I know, John. I can ask the chat, but YouTube provides analytics and tells me that the less time I spend introducing myself up front, the more people stay on the video and watch it. So I'm experimenting with that, but I'm going to kind of let the data drive my decision on that one. And right now, the data from YouTube is telling me be short, be sweet, and get to the video as quickly as possible, because while folks may want to know who I am, they really aren't there for that. They're watching the video to learn about the TV show or the actor or actress that I'm spotlighting. But great question. Jerry Gillespie says, Dave, have you ever heard of a little-known Sherwood Schwartz show called About Time? Sure have. It's had one of the great all-time intros. Now, this is something that I learned about as I was creating videos because people would tell me about it whenever I did a video on a Sherwood Schwartz show. And you can catch the theme song and the intro on YouTube, but that's about it. There's not a lot out there, but thanks for pointing that out. Let's see. Susan Boatman says, it was really sad that Michael Jackson and Prince died so young. Absolutely. And Maximus Prime says, shocked Disney hasn't done a black hole remake. John Doe says Mego Toys, and I'm not sure what it's related to, but maybe he's watching the unboxing right now. Love those Mego toys. I had a Mego Batman, a couple other things. Loretta Rushing, hi from Kaysville, Utah. Hello to Texas. Zuperplex says, lucky man to have been loved by two really good women, talking about Burt Reynolds. Karen Lee Maloney says, thanks so much for a great live stream tonight, Dave. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Karen Lee. Always a treat to have you with us. Superfan Emily Miller says, cried for months when MJ died. I was very sad as well. Same day that Farrah Fawcett died, by the way. Fred Smithberg says, data on YouTube is all-knowing. Well, it's usually pretty darn accurate. Sometimes you have to go with your gut, your intuition. You know, sometimes I'll make a video that the data tells me isn't going to be all that widely viewed. And that's okay. Sometimes you just follow your heart. But other times, as a creator, obviously, I want to have my videos watched as much as possible. Tracy Roth Myers, I just hope you have a great birthday. Hope you have a great birthday. And what do we have here? Oh, Butch Shump says that a black hole remake is stuck in development. Heck, well, maybe we'll get one of these days then. John H. says he has It's About Time on DVD. I was unaware that there was an official DVD release on that. Interesting. And Robot B9 says It's About Time was about 2 astronauts who were trapped in the prehistoric past. Al Oduardi liked that show. And Gary Carpenter says, my, how Hollywood has changed. And Superfan Superplex says Black Hole was not a success. It was not a financial success. You're right. Hard to say Sherwood Schwartz. I can't say it one time fast. 5 times fast. I'm not even going to try. John W. says, remember Quinn Martin's Tales of the Unexpected? I did not realize that was a Quinn Martin show. Rocket Man says they would probably ruin the Black Hole today. Let's see. Deborah Battle asked if I'll do a video on the different variety shows. That would be a fun one to do. I'll add it to my potential topics list and throw a star next to it. Let's see. John H. says about halfway through It's About Time, it changed locales and had the cave people hiding in L.A. Interesting. Let's see. It's About Time. Love the show. Saw it on a bootlegged website. That's probably where you're going to have to see it these days. Tom says Hollywood ruins most remakes. Well, most shows don't really need to be remade. Every once in a while, there'll be a remake that was worthy of the effort, but most of the time, it doesn't need it. Maximus Prime says Disney treated The Rocketeer the same way as The Black Hole. I think I actually like The Rocketeer and think it's a better movie than The Black Hole. Fred Smithberg says, I'm a new subscriber, great content. You and I must be about the same age, and darn, we look like identical twins. I am so sorry for that, Fred. My heart goes out to you, buddy. But thank you for being a new subscriber. I really appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just scrolling through comments. You know, I was thinking about doing some trivia tonight, but I don't think we are going to. I think we're going to read a few more comments, and then I think we'll go into the post show, the after party. And that way I can start winding down. I can go out. My wife got home from work, and while I fire up a video, I can go give her a hug and a kiss and let her know I'm glad she's home. But I think that's the plan here. Let's see what else we got here. I liked the Lost in Space movie. I didn't think it was bad at all. Actually, I even like that better than the Netflix TV series, which I watched the first 2 seasons of, but kind of lost interest in. Keith E. says, I believe June 25th is the day that Michael Jackson and Farrah died. That sounds right. Let's see. So many comments. It's hard to get through them all. Superfan Emily Miller says, Superplex, I hate it when the shows end without endings. I do too. I like it when they wrap things up. John Doe says, I believe they should leave the classics alone. Maybe do a re-release in theaters. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, look how successful Spielberg's West Side Story remake was. Not. It was a big flop. And it didn't need to be remade. Just re-release the old version from the 60s. Put it on the big screen again. Nothing. You can't improve on that. Yeah, Superfan Mike and Kathy says, I have a long list of potential videos. You do not know the half of it. And I try to write down every suggestion that I get, which is why I'll go back and re-watch this live stream just so that I can catch the suggestions. Because you guys you're quite frankly, you're a gold mine of ideas, and thank you for offering them up. I appreciate it. One of the big, YouTube creators, I hear this all the time, complain about just running out of ideas. I never have that problem. You guys are there for me. Thank you. Let's see. Maximus Prime says, I agree the Rocketeer was good, but Disney has treated it poorly over the years. Yes, you are right. Here's the deal, Emily. Because you are a super fan, and you know how fond I am of you, we will not do trivia tonight. I'm sticking to my guns on that. But I noticed last week, I think it was last week, you said we needed to do V trivia. We will do V trivia soon. Maybe next week. Even if we have a Bigfoot kind of theme. Maybe next week. Let's see. Jay Trace says, I would love to have had a Hogan's Hero series finale. Let's see. Lots of stuff about It's About Time. I'm going to just go ahead and... I see someone says, oh, Superfan Mike and Kathy say they lived in Riverdale. Is a lovely little town, not too far away from me. Tom says, will there be beer at the after party? It's BYOB. Yeah, it's BYOB. It can be. Let's see. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. What? Antenna TV has run It's About Time on the weekend? Huh, interesting. Let's see. I will be drinking, well, I'd like a Diet Coke, but it's getting late. I'm trying to be better about that. I'm going to probably be drinking more of this flavored water. Mike Silva says he hated the Lost in Space remake. I can respect it, but I liked it. I will, Jerry. I will. Let's see. Yeah, that was a sad day, the day that we lost Michael and Farrah. I never had the Farrah poster either. Dave, how many super fans? I've actually lost quite a few super fans over the last week or two. I don't know if I said something to hurt someone. I don't know. It's not a big deal to me. I think I've gone from 42 to 36. Let's see. Yes, Bert ended up with Lonnie Anderson for a while. I love it when the theaters show old movies. I really do, Emily. John H. says, I hate remakes. They always seem to have to make a point about how well advanced we are from the Neanderthals of the past. Yeah, leave the classics alone. Leave the classics alone. Yes, I remember when they would take those movies out of the vault and re-release them on the big screen. And then they tried to do that with videos, but it just wasn't the same. Tom met Jerry Mathers at a local convention. Oh, no, you're going to meet Jerry Mathers. I have not seen Lightyear. I don't have a problem with the controversial moment in it. I don't. Apparently, there's a moment where a girl kisses a girl. I don't have a problem with it. Doesn't bother me. And so I'll see it eventually. I can't get anyone to go see it, though. I can't. And I'm going to run into the same problem with the DC League of Super Pets. My kids are old enough that they don't want to go see the animated stuff with me anymore, and breaks my heart. Superplex says, I prefer no trivia. Well, there you go. I aim to please. Tonight, no trivia. But trivia will be back. Oh, I don't know how. There's so many comments. I can't keep up with them. I'm going to stop here. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight for the live stream. I hope you stick around for the after party. BYOB. I'll have my flavored water. And what is V trivia? Oh, I have to... I know I said no more comments. V, the science fiction television show from the early 80s. At least that's what I thought that Emily was referring to. Superfan Emily Miller. Yes, it is good. And that will be fun. I'm actually excited to put that one together. Okay, so that's it. Thanks, everybody, for joining me for another wonderful live stream. You guys are the best. It's been a good time. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys as we, wandered down memory lane a little bit. Took a little nostalgic trip, watched some commercials, some old interviews. It was a good time. So thank you. And now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and move right in to the after party. Thanks again, folks. Have a great night. When I was young, Scooby-Doo was about the coolest cartoon you could watch on Saturday mornings. Yeah, I know there were a lot of really great cartoons created just for kids way back then, but there was just something about those meddling kids and their loyal Great Dane. If I remember my Scooby trivia correctly, at least at some point during the creation of the original 1969 cartoon, the show was going to be titled The Mystery Five, and Scoob was initially planned to be more of a sidekick. However, as the show's writers continued to develop the characters, it became clear that Scooby was indeed the star of the show. Some of my earliest memories of Saturday mornings center around Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I'd grab a big bowl of Lucky Charms and head downstairs in our split-level home, turn on the TV, and then wait for it to warm up. Yep, I distinctly remember that. At least for a period of time, we had a TV that would take almost a full minute to warm up to the point where you could see the picture. The audio was there right away, but the video? Well, not so much. Then I'd usually have to piddle around with the antenna for a bit to get a picture that was mostly ghost-free. Just saying all this makes me realize how grateful I am for the super clear, instant-on HD televisions that we have today. And yes, I'm still grateful for Lucky Charms as well. Mostly the marshmallows, though. So anyway, getting back to the show, who doesn't remember the relatively non-violent but super spooky adventures of Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Scoob? The best part of these original episodes was the uber-loyal relationship of Shaggy Rogers and his best friend Scooby. And a running gag on the show was their massive appetites. I loved how regardless of how scary the situation was that they were in, they were also very, very hungry. Always hungry. I also loved that ultimately at the end of every episode, the so-called scary creature would be unmasked and the team would explain in great detail how the case was solved. And who can forget the classic line, "And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids." Such good stuff. So with all that said, you can just imagine my excitement when in 1972 CBS's Saturday morning offerings included the new Scooby-Doo movies. The cartoon was expanded from 30 to 60 minutes, and best of all, along with ghosts, vampires, and all sorts of spooky creatures, the gang would encounter stars of stage and screen. We're talking big stars of the day: Sandy Duncan, Sonny and Cher, Dick Van Dyke, and the legendary Don Knotts. Words can't describe just how awesome this show was. I mean, think about it. Really? Larry, Moe, and Curly? Legends! I believe this cartoon was my actual introduction to the Three Stooges. Afterward, I made it a point to learn more about these classic comedic characters, and to this day, I have a soft spot for their particular brand of humor, as I do for this great comedic duo. Yep, Laurel and Hardy found their way into a Scooby-Doo mystery, and it was television gold. As was the appearance of the Harlem Globetrotters. This one was especially cool because I loved the Globetrotters growing up, especially Meadowlark Lemon and Curly Neal. I would spend hours practicing my own trick shots and imagining that I was part of the team. Of course, I had a few things working against me on that one, but a guy can dream, right? And being a big fan of I Dream of Genie, how could I not love it when the gang encountered her animated counterpart? Genie was so cute, and that Babu guy, well, he was pretty funny as well. But the greatest moment of all, the crowning achievement of this particular version of Scooby-Doo, was when they were slated to meet the Caped Crusaders. When the show originally aired, at the end of each episode, there would be a brief preview of what was coming next week and who would be the guest. And when this picture of the dynamic duo flashed across my screen, I literally screamed for joy. This was before Super Friends, and because it was before VCRs, I hadn't seen the late 60s animated version of Batman and Robin yet. Let's just say Batman sightings on TV were relatively few and far between back then, so you can imagine my excitement to see my all-time favorite comic book character back on TV. However, when the set warmed up the following Saturday morning, this is what I saw: the Paris Accord, the end of the U.S.'s involvement in Vietnam. I remember my father telling me not to be sad because it was a good thing, but I couldn't help but be just a little bit disappointed. Back then, I never did get to see the gang's adventures with Batman and Robin. And yes, there were two of them. But ultimately, years later, technology would provide me with ample chances to catch both episodes, and you know what? They were great. Even if, for some strange reason, the animators chose to color Batman's cowl so that it looked like his neck was showing, you'd think I'd be over that by now, but it still bugs me that no one cared enough to fix that. Well, they did fix it on the cover of the DVD release, but that's it. Still, they are fun to watch from time to time. And really, it was the beginning of a partnership that would endure. Over the years, the Scooby Gang have met Batman multiple times in the comics. And a couple of years ago, Warner Home Media released a brand new Scooby-Doo movie where the gang once again joins forces with the Dark Knight. And Cartoon Network presently has a brand new Scooby-Doo series called Scooby-Doo and Guess Who that once again revisits the weekly guest star format. To date, there have been real-life characters like Weird Al and Wanda Sykes on the show, and other guest stars slated to appear are, from the fictional but fun category, folks like Sherlock Holmes, Wonder Woman, and you guessed it. Yep, Batman is back, baby. Batman is back. All of the Scooby-Doo shows have been great, but the original movies are in a league all their own. Did I mention that Mama Cass, Phyllis Diller, and Jonathan Winters make an appearance as well? I know, such a great show. In the mid-70s, Scooby-Doo would defect from CBS to ABC, and you know what? Things never really were the same. At least for me. If I had to point fingers, I blame it on this guy. So that's it, one more picture. Let's close with something from the Jonathan Winters episode. Such a talented comedian and Mork and Mindy's son. But that, my friends, is a topic for another day. Please share your memories in the comments section, and while you're at it, I would love a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I'd be honored if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Take a look at the BATCAVE. Here we go. That nice? Isn't that nice? Now, I know that you are Batman fans. How many of you actually watched the series when it was on? All right. Okay. Well, this is perfect. This is just perfect because, and this is for you people at home, I want you to just follow along with me, take this little bat quiz, see if you remember some of these things, and you can score at home. First of all, I want you to play along here. When Batman's uniform caused uncomfortable chafing, what did he do to relieve that discomfort? Did he A, scratch the itch, B, change uniforms, or C, crawl along the floor in a disgusting manner? Okay. All right, wait a minute. Let's check your guess. Oh, you got it right. You guys got it right. Okay, here's another one. Question two. Question two. They're doing very well so far. All right, Batman's favorite way to impress Batgirl was to A, send her flowers, B, take her to dinner, or C, perform cheap Indian rope tricks. Okay, well, let's see if you got that one right. Okay. All right, you're 2 for 2. All right, see about this one. Some of you are doing pretty well. All right, Batgirl loved it when Batman would A, talk on the bat phone, B, take her for a ride in the Batmobile, or C, delicately manicure her nails. C. Let's take a look. Yeah, that was too easy. That was too easy. All right, here's the last one of the quiz. All right, here's the last one of the quiz. What does Robin do when he has the mansion all to himself? Now think carefully about this. Does he A, study? Does he B, does he practice the piano? Or C, does he party with 5 screaming babes? Okay, score for yourself.
Michelle Pfeiffer? Ha. The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
I absolutely love hearing stories about special moments where people rise to the occasion and stand up for what they believe in. It's even more fun for me when those people are stars of television and movies, shows that I grew up watching. For whatever reason, those moments that matter resonate even more for me because it would be so easy for those stars to just ride the wave of fame and ignore problems that, regardless of who we are, swirl around us from time to time. Such is the case with lovely Barbara Eden. Way back in the mid-60s, Eden starred in a wonderful Sidney Sheldon-created sitcom called I Dream of Genie. I'm not going to go into the details of that show because I'm guessing most of you watching this video are already very familiar with it. Suffice it to say, it was well written and lots of fun. Part of my enjoyment was watching the undeniable chemistry between the two lead actors, Barbara Eden and Larry Hagman. They played perfectly against each other. And as a young man watching reruns of the show in the 70s, I didn't think for one moment that there was any sort of off-camera strife going on. But there was. Unfortunately, what had happened was that Hagman grew increasingly irritated with the direction and development of his character, Tony Nelson. So much so that he was often not the easiest person to work with on set. Couple that with rumors of excessive nightlife and partying on his part, and before you knew it, many of the cast and crew members were starting to suggest that Hagman be replaced by another actor. The actor who was being considered was none other than Darren McGavin. Yep, Mr. Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker himself. A fine actor, and I have no doubt that he could have come in and somehow made it work. That said, Barbara Eden was having none of that. She was loyal to Hagman. Sure, he may not have been the easiest guy at all times to get along with offset, but when the cameras were running, he was a consummate professional, and whether you credit her heart or her head, her insistence that Hagman not be replaced, well, we all know that that was the right decision. What was not the right decision, however, was to have the two characters marry during what I believe was the 5th and final season of the show. Yep, if you want to kill off a show, just marry the two main characters. For whatever reason, audiences tend to drop like flies once the romantic tension is eased by way of a wedding ring and a promise to be true to each other. I know, kind of sad, but that's just the way it is. After I Dream of Genie, Eden continued to find success in both TV and movies. I loved her turn in the motion picture The Harper Valley PTA, based on the hit song by another Genie, a real one this time, singer Jeannie C. Riley. And I also enjoyed her mid-80s Genie revival movie that had MASH star Wayne Rogers replacing Hagman as Major Nelson. But you know what? Eden was right. Something was off. And I'm not blaming Wayne Rogers here. He's a great actor. But Hagman was sorely missed. Larry, of course, was doing other things. More specifically, the blockbuster CBS hit drama, Dallas. And during that show's final season, he invited Eden to appear with him. Her turn as Leanne de la Vega is fun to watch because it's clear that these two actors truly enjoyed working with each other. And never was this more evident than when the two got together to promote the release of I Dream of Genie on DVD. It wasn't long after that Hagman was gone. But what remains are memories of a friendship that spanned decades, the seeds of which were planted and then fully bloomed oh so long ago with an act of loyalty on I Dream of Genie. I'll post a link to pick up the DVDs on Amazon in the description section of this video if you're interested. Alright, let's stop there. One final picture, this time from one of the early black and white episodes. So were you a fan of I Dream of Genie? Or a fan of Eden's or Hagman's? Share your memories in the comments section below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe even share it on Facebook or Twitter. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to my channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, And as always, thank you so much for watching.
Thursday on a special 2-hour Buck Rogers, a sorcerer plots to conquer the earth. His weapon, an army of slave women. And it's up to Buck to stop him.
I've got a reputation to uphold too, you know.
Starring Gil Gerard with Jack Palance and returning to action, Buster Crabbe. Buck Rogers, Thursday.
I know you're out there. You some... You embarrassed me. You made a fool out of me and out of my son, Junior, that twit. You've been running away. And I've been following you. I'm gonna catch you. And when I catch you, I'm gonna put you behind bars for the rest of your life. And then when you die, I'm gonna put you in a box. And I'm gonna put you behind bars for the rest of your natural death. Now, when I leave here, I'm going to get in my car, and I'll be in hot pursuit. You some...
Growing up, The Wild Wild West was one of my favorite shows to watch after coming home from school. Yep, it really was the perfect way to decompress after a hard day of reading, writing, and a little bit of math, and I loved watching Robert Conrad and Ross Martin show me on a daily basis what it would have been like if James Bond had actually been a government spy in the wild and woolly West. It really was a super fun show. Like I said, my memories are not of its primetime run, but rather in the mid-70s when Salt Lake City got its first UHF TV station. Wild Wild West was one of the first shows to be featured on KSTU Channel 20, and I've got to say, I was hooked. Little did I know at the time about the heavy-handed way that the U.S. government had targeted this action-packed, and in the minds of many politicians, way too violent program. So the reason that the government got involved was because of the real-life violence that rocked the United States in 1968. During that year, both Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Senator Robert F. Kennedy were assassinated. The then President of the United States, Lyndon B. Johnson, commissioned a task force to look into the causes of violence and how it could be prevented in the future. One of the group's main findings was that television was having a dramatic impact on society as a whole, and people were becoming desensitized to violence because of what they were watching on the small screen. And, according to Robert Conrad himself, one senator in particular was very vocal about the harmful effects of the Wild Wild West. Senator John Pastore of Rhode Island personally talked to Conrad about the show and told him that he believed it should be canceled. And although Conrad was quick to drop Pastore's name for decades to come, whenever he was asked about why a show that constantly won its time slot was given the axe, it really wasn't just Senator Pastore. There were numerous other committee members who were also advocating for CBS to get rid of the Wild Wild West. Ultimately, the show was canceled by CBS due to the tremendous pressure that they were feeling to eliminate programs that were deemed too violent. Ironically, just a couple of years earlier, Senator Robert Byrd had pressured CBS to do the opposite when they were considering canceling his favorite program. Another Western, in fact. Perhaps that's why Gunsmoke was spared from the mass cancellation of violent television programming in 1969. Hard to say, but the TV program starring James Arness would run on CBS for another 6 years. It was ultimately canceled in 1975. Interestingly, CBS almost immediately regretted canceling the Wild Wild West. None of their new shows that they put in that time slot performed as well, and less than a year later, they began playing reruns of the Wild Wild West as a summertime fill-in for the Carol Burnett Show. It just goes to show you can't keep a good program down, even if you are the U.S. government. And about a decade later, there were a couple of other opportunities for Conrad and Martin to return to the roles that they were most famous for. I loved both the Wild Wild West revisited, as well as more Wild Wild West. And while Paul Williams was no Michael Dunn, it was still fun to see James West and Artemis Gordon back on the screen again.
Wednesday, after 10 years in retirement, can Jim West and Artemis Gordon make a comeback? Find out on the Wild Wild West Revisited, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
And many, many years later, West and Gordon would finally make their big screen theatrical debut. But really, I think the less said about that one, the better. Let's end here with Jim and Artie's greatest adversary, the nefarious Dr. Miguelito Loveless, as played by the wonderful actor Michael Dunn. Such great memories. Okay, now it's your turn. Please share your memories in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Maybe even share it on Facebook or Twitter. And what the heck, why not consider subscribing to my channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.